Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another live show. A little bit later than I was hoping to start, so apologies for that. But we are going. We're still going strong. We've got some more transfer news coming out with the club being linked with a number of players, some of which are new, some of which we've heard before, as well as some news regarding Jadon Sancho. We now know the numbers. Some people thought, right, is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? How much is it going to cost for us to get rid of this player? What's the issue with the contract as well? And then on top of that, we're going to be looking at Enzo Maresca and the club's position on the manager. So, yeah, quite a few things going on at the moment, actually. I wouldn't say a particularly quiet day. There's plenty to talk about. Also, let me know in the comments what you are thinking about Chelsea at the moment, because there's two sides to this, isn't there? There's the side that thinks, okay, cool, we can build something. You know, we're in a good position. We can get Champions League football. And then you've got the other side that's a little bit more pessimistic and says, well, build with what? This group of clowns that are running the club at the moment. So let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with any of those statements? Smash the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into it, guys. We're going to start off talking about Dean Huijsen. Okay, now for those of you who don't know who Dean Huijsen is, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, to be fair. He is a centre-back that plays for Bournemouth. Chelsea have been closely looking at Dean Huijsen. Some suggest that he could move abroad, but there is nothing set in stone as of yet. And that's from David Ornstein in a Q&A for The Athletic. So that's what's going on in terms of Dean Huijsen. Now, we know that the quoted price was around 50 million is release clause. That's a perfectly affordable release clause. Like, that doesn't seem particularly, in modern day football, it's not ridiculous, is it? I think if you pay any less than 40 million, you would have gone, it's an absolute steal. So if you've got a great centre-back that's Premier League proven and plays in a system where he's required to pass out the back and distribute the ball and still defends well, I think that's something we should look at. That's something that's positive. The issue that Chelsea fans have, and I could certainly agree with this, is he's so young. He's a really, really young player. I'm not entirely sure how old he is, so I'll look that up in a second. But he's a young player. He's 19 years old. Jesus Christ, he's 19 years old, and we need experience in this freaking team, guys. We need some experience. So I don't have anything against fans who are angry about the fact that we're still being linked with these young players who haven't proven themselves over multiple seasons. They might have had one, maybe two good seasons, and then we're being linked with them. Look, you need a little bit more to establish a top team. You need a bit of backbone. What is going to bring Chelsea to the next level? Yeah, have these players ever played at that level that we're trying to get to? And if we're looking at this player in particular, the answer is no. He hasn't done anything with Bournemouth. He's won nothing. He's qualified for nothing. They're having a good season. Can he do it again? We don't know. He's only done it once. The season's not even done yet. So if we were having this conversation and I was saying to you, okay, listen, the guy's 22. He's been playing for Bournemouth for 3 or 4 years. He's been great. He's been consistent for them. Bournemouth has been a good side. They've been pushing towards European football. Then it's quite easy to look at that and really have a bit of potency behind the argument, right? We're talking about a very good player who's been consistent over a number of years. He wants to take that next step. He's coming to Chelsea. We are looking at a guy who's had one good season. Again, he's a good player. He's a very good player. He's clearly, for teams to be interested like Chelsea, like, he's not doing a bad job. I just ask you, is that the type of signing that we need? Is that the type of signing that we're looking for? Forget positioning as well. We also have to look at the age. I think age is a massive factor. Big up to you, Jordan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Always good to have you on the stream. Amir, big up to you as well. He says, really, another defender. We seriously have more than enough. We don't need another one, let alone another striker if we're finding another one of those. Yeah, well, I mean, I think we do need a striker, Amir. So I maybe disagree with that one. In terms of a defender, probably, I think we probably do need a centre back. I mean, it's not necessarily the number one priority. I think number one is a striker. Number two is bringing back Petrovic. So there's your goalkeeper. We can sort that out internally. In terms of the midfield, you've got Santos coming back, maybe Ugo Chukwu as well. We know that we have that young player from Sporting who's going to be in the squad next season as rotation for Caicedo. So not too many issues there. You could say on the wing if Sancho wasn't going to stay at Chelsea, what do we do there? Mudryk, if he can't come back, is that another position we have to look to reinforce? But I think striker and centre backs are positions that we can certainly improve. You got to remember, we have Disasi at this club. We have, he's an example. He's probably the number one, I would say. He's a player that's going to go, and we don't have a real spine at the back in terms of players that can be consistent for this club and perform week in, week out. Fofana, when he does play, he's a great player. I like Fofana. I just don't trust him. So when I've had a lot of big rants about Fofana. I've said Tossin's a better player than Fofana. And this season, I mean, I'd argue probably has been in a way, because at least Tossin's been available. And that, for me, availability is the number one ability. If you are not available, you have nothing to offer this team. I'm sorry, you have nothing to offer. If you have leadership qualities, that is another aspect we can look at. I think Tossin has that. I don't think Fofana has it. So when Fofana's fit, what does he offer? Not a lot. So we have to look at who can bring the most to this team and be a realistic spine. Because Fofana's a player who's in and out. Colwell's a player hasn't really established himself this season. You've got Badiashile, who's going to be a squad player. Disasi's going to be out of our plans. Have I missed anyone? Any other centre backs I've missed? Those are the main ones, really. I would have gone for Mark Gurhey. He's got more experience. And he's proven himself to be at the top level, and Huijsen hasn't won anything. Even Gurhey hasn't won, and even Gurhey hasn't won nothing either. Listen, for me, Gurhey is by far the best option. And it's not even comparable to me because he's done it over a number of seasons. So, look, there's one way of looking at it, talking about this player, but let's get to know this player as well. Who is Dean Huijsen? What do we know about him? Let's have a look. Now, when we look at his Premier League stats this season, this is what we're seeing at the moment. 23 appearances for Bournemouth, 2 goals, 0 assists, 6 yellow cards, and no reds. He's made the starting 11 62% of the time. He's played 65% of the minutes available, and he's been involved in 4% of the goals. So that's fine. We kind of knew that. FA Cup, 3 appearances, 1 appearance in the Carabao. Okay. Now, looking at this guy this season, he's played the majority of games for Bournemouth, but he hasn't played that much. You know, he hasn't been. Bournemouth have survived without him in terms of the fact that he hasn't played 100% of the games. Now, there must be a reason for it. We can find that out. But there you go. Those are your stats that we start off with. Now, if we look at the current season here and we see what he's done this season, so he's had a pretty slow start in the sense that he didn't play too many of the opening games, and that explains why his percentage was lower, only being involved in 66% of the minutes available. Yeah, he played 9 minutes against Forest. They conceded, but they drew that game. On the bench against Newcastle, 30 minutes against Everton, 90 minutes against Liverpool, got thrashed. On the bench, right? Most of the first 9 games he wasn't playing. Then He had a few cameo appearances off the bench against City, Brentford, Brighton, and Wolves before starting against Tottenham. And this was the real turn where we started to see a real consistent period of constantly starting and finishing these games as well. Now, we look at Bournemouth's results as well here and how many clean sheets they got when he wasn't playing. It's just interesting to look at it. They conceded in every single game that he didn't play, except Arsenal when they won 2-0. So they got a clean sheet in that. But every other game he didn't play in, they conceded, Bournemouth. And then he starts against Tottenham, and they get a clean sheet against Tottenham, a clean sheet against United, a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, a clean sheet against Everton. Forest, they got a clean sheet. Okay, so it's not crazy, but you can see that there's an impact. You look at the red since he's been playing. I mean, in recent games, Bournemouth have dropped off actually, but you can see that he certainly had an impact. They've got a fair amount of red here, but he wasn't really involved in all of those games. He wasn't starting. And then you come down to when he started playing, and you're winning and you're drawing lots and lots of games. Of course, they're going to lose to Liverpool. That's fair enough. They lost to a couple of other teams, but generally speaking, he's had a massive impact on Bournemouth. And this is what I like to see. 90 minutes every game from the 14th game of the season. That, in my opinion, should be valued just as much as anything. Availability, as we said. Now, oh yes, I did miss Chalobah earlier. You're right. I apologize. Chalobah will be gone as well. We know Chalobah's going to be sold. And I've kind of accepted that. Actually, I do think Chalobah's been quite poor, actually. I expected more than him. I just expected more from Chalobah. But, yeah. I did expect more from Chalobah. He's disappointed me. He had a great debut, didn't he? And then after that, it's sort of slowed down. Big up to Steve. I hope you're doing well, mate. Big up, Alex. Why does it matter whoever the fuck is linked with us now? We have 80 plus players on the books and have to sell the majority of them. Well, we have to sell to buy. And this is another point that is worth bringing up. These players that we're looking at are good players, but why would we continue to attract the best in the league? Why would we continue to attract? What do we have to offer these players? We don't offer the biggest wages anymore. We don't offer Champions League football as it stands. I think it's unlikely that we offer Champions League football, although I hope we can get there. And it's just if you're competing against some of these other teams who also want these players, including other European clubs, by the way, who, can offer other aspects like a better lifestyle in Italy or whatever it is. I'm not saying he's going to Italy. It's just a random example. It's going to be difficult for us to get business done quickly because we know we have to get rid of players. So how quickly are you going to sell, let's just say 8 players, which is what I've heard, in order to raise the capital to then buy a striker and invest in a centre-back and reinforce other areas of the squad? So that's what I'd be interested to see. Joff says, we don't need any more centre-backs. We need a left-back as backup for Cucurella unless Vega comes back. I agree with that. Maybe Vega comes in as a centre-back. I mean, I'm not against that. But yeah, we probably do need a left-back as well, mate. I'm with you there. Big up to Roman Abramovich as well. Big up to him. The man, the myth, the legend, the best owner in world football. Love Don Roman. The main focus on our team as a striker, we haven't got many options in the position. For example, Victor Gyökeres Delap, but we would have got Duran for 40 mil last summer in the transfer window. Fair play. Okay, so yeah, we can see what he's done in terms of this season. He's played plenty of minutes, okay, which is important. We're talking about Dean Hodgson still, okay, the 19-year-old Spanish citizen. So he is a Spanish international, though he's never actually played for Spain. He was born in Amsterdam, although, yeah. So when we look at his market value, right now his market value is around 42 million. Is that pounds or euros? I think that's pounds. 42 million pounds. I think that 50 million for a player who's worth about 42, and I think 42 is probably an accurate price, to be honest with you. I think 50 million is a little bit of a stretch. If you did the deal for 40, I think people would accept it. If you did the deal for anything less than 40, I think that people would say that's great business. Fantastic, fantastic business. Because again, he fits the project in terms of what this ownership want. He's young and he has potential and he's clearly good already, right? He wouldn't be linked with us for 50 million if he wasn't a good player. So yeah, that's where you go. Stephen says the majority of young players we bought are ruined, like David Washington and more. You're right in that sense. I mean, there are some that are doing well, but a lot of them, you know, it's like real estate, isn't it? You flip one player and you get another player, and then you sell them and you buy another one, and it's literally like going to a casino, roll the dice, and see what happens. Who the hell is that? Lol, I never heard of that player from Bournemouth. He is a good player, mate. He's a good player. I'm not going to lie to you, but 50 million, a little bit steep, but never say never. I mean, this club have done some weird things in the past couple of weeks. I just arrived at my university to do some homework. Big up to you, mate. Who needs homework when you've got Chelsea? 50 million and we still can't get a clean, decent striker. Clown like out. Big up to you, Steve. If the player was like 40 million, then it would have been a good deal and a bargain. But adding another 10 million, it would be ridiculous, Alex. I agree with you, Jordan. I think 40 million would be a fair deal. 50 is inflated. It's Chelsea tax. It's Chelsea youth tax. But again, it's how desperate are they to get this deal done? And if they want to get this deal done, I think they probably would pay 50 if they have the money available. I'm not saying they should do it, but I think they probably would. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at from Dean Hodgson. I mean, if we look at all of his seasons, I mean, the guy doesn't really have much to show. He played in he was a Juventus player from the youth perspective. He went to Roma. He played a couple of games in Serie A for Roma, and then obviously he's come to Bournemouth as well. This is where he's picked up the majority of his minutes in the Premier League. To give you an idea, most of his minutes, I mean, he played 1,690 minutes in the Prem this season. Before that, the most minutes he played was 1,710 minutes, and that was in the under-17s for Juventus. After that, it was 1,400 minutes in Serie C for Juventus again. So that would have been the youth team. Primera, 1,200 minutes for Juve as well. And then he only played one game for Juventus in Serie A, and he wasn't even starting. It was 12 minutes. So very limited experience at the top level. We're not looking at a player who has a lot to offer in terms of experience. We are leaning on potential. So then the question is, who do you lean on? Do you lean on Uncle Tossin? Unk, that's what you call him. I don't think that's the experience we need right now, guys. So my opinion is, if you're going to get experience anywhere, I think you really need to be getting experience at the back. Your leaders should be your centre-backs and your midfielders and your goalkeeper. Those are the players that need to bring it all together. Strikers, in my opinion, that's not where you need leadership. I mean, obviously, you want a striker who can score goals. I would be for the Delap deal more so, knowing that we have experience at the back, because Delap is clearly capable of scoring goals and capable of playing within different systems. He can play with the ball. He can play when his team don't have the ball and still make things happen. If we don't have experience at the back, though, I need more experience up top. And Delap doesn't fit that category. He doesn't fit that category. That's when you're looking at an Osman, who, by the way, is demanding 250 grand a week. So it doesn't look like Chelsea are going anywhere near Victor Osimhen as it stands. According to Ben Jacobs, he's not high in Chelsea's thinking at the moment. And I agree with that, to be fair. I almost encourage that, to be fair, because listen, you've got to pay wages for the best players, but also there has to be some form of compromise. I don't think that Osimhen had any compromise whatsoever in the summer. If he really wanted to play for this team, he should have gone on an incentive-based contract, maybe not even to do with team incentive, but personal incentive. If you score 20 goals, you get this much. If you score 30, you get this much. You could have probably got a higher pay bracket than if you would agree to a base wage that was a little bit higher anyway. If you go on the on the incentive side, and we know that the club are willing to pay more if we're in Champions League football. We get a 30% bump on the contracts that have already been tweaked towards that. So one of the key examples would be Enzo Fernandez, who will get a 30% bump, if I'm not wrong. It's similar with basically everyone else that we've signed. If we're in the Champions League, you will get paid significantly more. And I think top players, if you have belief in yourself, especially a striker, because all you have to do is score goals, look, we can judge you from that. And you should be rewarded if you do the job well. If you bring in a player on $250,000 a week and he's not performing, then it does make you look like, it was poor business from the club. But at the same time, there's only so long we can keep bringing in potential without just getting the job done. I mean, for fuck's sake, bring in a striker. Bring someone in. I mean, also, you've got to look at it from the perspective of, does he fit into the system, what Maresca's trying to do? And you're going to need a very specific type of player to work with Maresca, because Maresca's not going to be able to adapt. He couldn't adapt to getting Nkunku involved in the team. I think Nkunku could easily be a player we're leaning on at the moment to score goals. We should have lent on him months ago. I mean, this conversation is not relevant now. The manager didn't know how to use Nkunku. Didn't know how to use João Felix, although Felix is not even half the player that Nkunku is in terms of what he's proved. Couldn't get anything out of Vega to want him to stay. So what does that tell you about how he's able to manage these characters? Do you want us to think Maresca is going to be able to manage Victor Osimhen based on what we've seen him, the way he's managed other players? So I don't know. I mean, I'm putting ideas out there. Maybe been a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I don't know. But we need something. We do need something. Let's have a look. Josh said, I've watched a bit of Dean. He's a very mature player despite his age. I quite like him, to be fair. Fair play. Big up to you, Josh, mate. Good to see you, Arthur. Good to be on the stream. Arthur says, thank you, mate. I'm doing very well. Got chicken wings for dinner after the stream, so that'll be nice. Barbecue chicken wings. If Sancho does not leave Chelsea, gets no profit, but Man U does, and we could sell Mudryk and get a world-class striker and sell Sanchez definitely, and maybe a defender as a backup in case of injuries. Yes, but I mean, it's not all about profit. Why can't we just think about football with certain deals and accept that by playing better football and being in a better position in terms of the football side, you will make more profit. You will make more money. 10 million is nothing if you get in the Champions League. We're talking hundreds of millions. So why not push for that if that's the right thing to do for the football team? Doesn't all have to be financials here. I don't want to be saying welcome, instead of saying welcome to Chelsea Fan TV, welcome to Accountancy FC or welcome to Hedge Fund FC. I mean, we are Hedge Fund FC and we are Accountancy FC, but I don't want to say it. There's still part of me that thinks, right, okay, are we going to sign anyone for a footballing reason? Absolutely not. But you always have the hope, guys. You always have the hope. Anyone has crypto right now, your crypto's down. You are down bad. 50%, some people, 60%. Are you selling? Fuck no. Why? Because you got hope. Hope that it's still going to fucking go back up. And even though you know the market's killed you, you still think maybe I can come back from this. And maybe that's how I feel about Chelsea. Who knows? I don't know. Andrew, You are absolutely right. They don't want Sancho back, but if we don't want him, then we have the power to get rid of him. So I say use that power off your pop, back on the books. Jim Radcliffe said United are going broke. Let's help that problem by giving them the Sancho wage that they've been trying to get rid of, as well as the player who's underperforming at the moment. The only experienced player we have is an ex-rugby guy. That's true, mate. Big up to you. In the summer, we need to sell Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Felix Sterling, Sanchez, bring back Petrovic and Kunku Disasi. Probably send Guiu on loan to the Championship. I've not got any massive complaints with any of them, to be fair. And you look at the money that we can generate just from getting rid of the wages of some of these guys. Yeah, we will make a loss on certain players. We'll probably make a loss on KDH. We'll make a loss on Felix, although I don't know if Felix will go, but we'll see. We'll make a loss on Sterling. We'll make a loss on Sanchez. We'll make a loss on Nkunku. Potentially, we could break even on Disasi. We could potentially break even. We'll see. I mean, if we include the loan fee, then that could be us breaking even. And Guiu on loan to the Championship makes sense as well. Nothing against that. Devish says we need a miracle. Felix always wanted to be number one for Chelsea, and it didn't work in the Chelsea system. Felix isn't good enough. We're fully aware of that. He said that he was happy to compete with Cole Palmer. What a load of nonsense. He was never happy to compete with anyone because he couldn't compete. And that's his problem. Although Maresca, again, could have given him more minutes, even though we knew already wasn't good enough. And now we have a Palmer injury. So who are we going to complain about now? Talking about injuries last season. It's, players get injured. That's part of the game. But you need other players to come in and fill in. And Felix could have done that. We never sign players based on the manager. It's always the ownership. Again, down to profits. Don't forget, Alex, you can't just go to the grocery store and buy a striker. It's not that simple in an American accent. Yes, Todd Bowley. Nice quote there. What a load of nonsense. Where's this grocery store nonsense come from? But there you go. Maybe that's what they talk about in America. Yeah, there you go. So, right, let's look at we've looked at Dean Hodgson. I mean, my opinion on this is that I'm happy with the player. I'm not unhappy about us being linked with Hodgson. I'm not unhappy. I do think that if we pay 50 million, we're getting ripped off. I think if we're paying 50 million, we're getting ripped off. We're not talking about a Leicester 80 million. We're talking about 50. But it's 10 million too much, as one of you said in the chat earlier. I think Jordan said it. You need to pay a price that is fair and reflective. Now, if he has another great season and then we bid again, 50 million can be justified based on the fact that he's been consistent over 2 years. But one season, again, you are taking the risk that this player cannot perform over multiple seasons. And who can argue against that? Because you've never seen it. Just like people who want to back Maresca saying he's a better manager than Pochettino, his CV says otherwise. You can't trust. It's all potential. The manager's potential, the directors are potential, the players are potential. All potential. Nonsense. Ultimately, we're stuck with what we have, and that's it. Doesn't mean we have to smile about it, but we will talk about it. Why? Because we love Chelsea, and I love Chelsea. I do love Chelsea. I mean, they make me want to pull my hair out. But that's what we're working with, guys. Let's have a look at this, guys. Maresca is seen as a football and cultural fit, despite the inconsistent form. It would take something truly unthinkable for Maresca to be sacked. No Champions League or no Conference League win very likely won't make much difference. Chelsea are looking to judge Maresca between 2 to 5 years. Again, what a load of nonsense. First of all, you can't believe anything they say. Okay, because they said they're going to give Potter 5 years. That's what they're looking to do. You need short-term success. Okay. Now, in an ideal world, there's two ways we can look at this. We look with my Chelsea hat and we look with my I hate Maresca hat. I hate Maresca hat says Chelsea miss out on Champions League 2 years in a row. He gets sacked. Happy days. But that's not very good for Chelsea. So I'm going to hope that we can qualify for Champions League, and we do enough to win something with this manager. But whatever it is that people see in Maresca, I don't see it. As soon as his system has been implemented, genuinely implemented, we are seeing a lack of creativity from the players. We are seeing a lack of spine, a lack of fight, a lack of cohesiveness. We are seeing a lack of inspiration on the pitch, which is therefore transpiring in the stands. So we're not seeing an atmosphere either, because people are bored. It's probably the most boring football you've ever watched over the past couple of months. And I had a debate with Lewis about this, and I've spoken about Sarri multiple times, the manager that we have, Maurizio Sarri. I liked Sarri. Sarri played possession-orientated football. There's nothing wrong with playing possession-orientated football. Possession football is not a problem for me, okay? So this is why I feel even more confident talking about Maresca, because if I hated Maurizio Sarri, it would be different, okay? It would be different. Because, you go, oh, well, you hated him. You don't like any managers that play possession-based football. Okay, you don't like any of them. The truth is that I like good managers. And I like managers that I feel like I can trust. I like listening to what they have to say. Are they going to bring success to this club? Are they genuine? What's the style of play like? Do I enjoy going to watch these matches live? Is this something that I really enjoy watching in the flesh? So that's where we are at the moment with Maresca, and I think if I had to categorically say whether I enjoy watching this manager or not, the answer is no. And I don't understand how people can sit here and go, the football's entertaining. It is not entertaining whatsoever. In fact, while we've been here, I have been on 100% Chelsea. For those who don't know 100% Chelsea, that was like the big channel before Chelsea Fan TV. 5 years ago, I did a fan cam. Why don't the fans support Sarri? Okay? So, I'm not chatting nonsense here. I am genuinely being real. When I tell people that I am an optimistic fan, and I do believe in the process, and I believe we support the manager, I have genuinely said that with pretty much every manager. I've said it about all of them. All of them. I was upset when we sacked Lampard. I like Sarri. I like Conte. I liked all of them. I liked Lampard. I mean, it was sad the way he was sacked, but it had to be done. Looking back, we got Tuchel. I was gutted when we got rid of Tuchel. So, it's one of those things, isn't it, where let's see what I actually had to say. I said,
because we always bang about self-sustainability. It's not. We rely solely on Abramovich's money.
Yeah.
So he gives them.
Really, I don't want to focus on the game today. I want to focus on Sarri. I want to focus on the top four. I think one of the things that's actually really getting to me at the moment is why don't the fans support Sarri? I don't understand. Because
I'm sat on the fence, so I will play devil's advocate in this conversation. So let's see your points.
Yeah, because I honestly don't see it. You don't like the style of football. We're fighting for top four with clubs like Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham as well, who are better than us at the moment. They are. They've got better players. They've got. Do you know what I mean? They're just. I don't understand it. We're competing. We are not having a bad season. We're not. This is not a disaster. Okay, we had a few bad results. It happens. In Pep Guardiola's first season, they lost 4-0 to Everton. They kept him. Now look at him. They're building a team for the long run. We need to be patient.
Do you feel that Roman can build that team for the long run?
All right, that's enough. So, I'm not bluffing and I'm not talking shit. I believe in trusting managers if they are competent. Maresca does not strike me as competent. He's a total fraud, in my opinion. I don't see it. I don't see it. I have seen enough in a short space of time to judge this manager and say he's not the one. He's not the one. And I wouldn't come to that conclusion if I didn't have many, many things to back up that argument. Many things. He inherited the best squad that we've had under this ownership. I mean, you could argue that Potter inherited the best squad, but let's be honest, it wasn't like that because half of them wanted to leave and half of them were going to be sold anyway. So, I mean, I don't really go with that argument. He's got the best squad that we've had since Bowley and Clearlake have been at Chelsea. He's got the most stability that any manager could have had because of what happened last season, by the way. Because of that momentum, we became more stable as a club. And he's got the best players out of all of them. He is being backed to the moon and back by this club, which is fine. You back this guy. Don't expect me to respect that decision because I don't. I don't respect anything this manager's doing at the moment. He doesn't inspire anything. He inspires me to want to go to bed at 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. He inspires me to get a nicer pillow so I can just go to sleep quicker. He inspires me to cover my eyes when I go to Stamford Bridge because there's no point of even watching it. He inspires me to play music in my ears during the game because I'm not going to hear any chants because nobody's fucking enjoying it. It's boring. It's crap. You know, and people say, well, why did you like Poch? What did Poch do? What about Poch's system? Fucking systems. Everyone. What, is this a computer game? It's football. You put the ball in the back of the net and you stop other people from doing it. And as a fan, you want to then see your players try hard and a bit of skill's nice as well. A bit of entertainment. We fucking had a bit of entertainment last season. My God, it was a roller coaster. Now, roller coaster. I'm just rolling. I'm not coasting. Shit. It's so boring. It's so boring. But again, you know, the other aspect is people say, well, how can you just talk about the style of play? That's not everything. It's not just about the style. It's about the fact that this manager says, we are going for top 4. Oh, we're not going for top 4. The club never told me we're going for top 4. Oh, actually, we are going for top 4. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. You know, he apologized to the fans at Arsenal and then proceeded to say that we played better than they did. Like, it's just a load of waffle. It's not only him that's deluded, it's whatever the players are. I mean, the players, what Caicedo said after. That is the epitome of delusion. I'm sorry, that is not a language barrier. That is delusion. We played better than Arsenal. We're looking good because Arsenal have been together for 7 years. I'm sorry. But one thing Arsenal have is unity within the fan base and the team. They are one. You got idiots, obviously, in every fan base. Chelsea are divided, totally divided. We are divided with the management. We are divided with the players. We're divided with the board of directors. The atmosphere is poor this season. It's actually the worst atmosphere I've seen at Stamford Bridge ever. By far. Last season, we had some crackers. Even when we had Potter, you know, the atmosphere in a lot of games, it might have been toxic, but you could feel the energy in the stands. If it was negative or positive, you could feel it. I don't feel anything. It's silent. It's like, really? Is that... Just used to it now, aren't we? The drop in standards is criminal. So, yeah, there you go. We're going to be looking... we're going to be looking at keeping Maresca for at least 2 years. See what he does in 2 years, and potentially he'll get longer as well after that. Bayern Munich are interested in Andres Santos, but Chelsea are not looking to sell. This could only change if Santos agitates for a move, but I'm told he is not this type of character. Well, that's great. And I hope Santos does sign does put a Chelsea shirt on, and we can put it all to bed, because I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but I don't know if he's going to be a Chelsea player until he puts the shirt on. And it is one of those things, isn't it? So there you go. Santos is going to be at Chelsea next season. I'm really excited to see him coming in. I do think that was good business, actually, when you look at it. We've done some shockers, but you got to give credit as well for some of the deals in that respect. This is a weird one. Victor Gyökeres is back on the Chelsea radar. Liam Delap and Sesko are relatively high in their thinking. Isak is also an option should he genuinely become available. That's according to Ben Jacobs. I think it's a lot of nonsense, really. The thing is, with transfer news, it's like you're reading a book or watching a movie, and they just want to see how you react, so they can then write the next part, the next scene. Oh, do they like this? Do they not like it? And if it gets a response rate, then the stories will keep coming out. But nobody really knows what's going to happen with Victor Gyökeres. I mean, I have to admit that we're not going to offer Victor Osimhen a contract at Chelsea because he wants $250,000. What about Gyökeres? Like, it's not going to be that much lower. It's probably going to be 200 grand. So what are we doing here? Are we in a position now that we're going to pay one player, what he wants, which is still one of our highest earners within the team, but we wouldn't sign Osimhen? Are we going to stick to our principles or not? I think we will, to be totally honest with you. I don't think there'll be any form of what's the word? We won't be hypocritical in terms of saying to some players, look, we can't pay this because our cap is here. We have a wage cap. And players accept that when they sign. Cole Palmer accepted it. João Felix accepted it. Sancho presumably will accept it if he comes. I don't think that we're going to throw that in the bin, because, to be fair, it kills the morale of the squad as well. Because, as I said, if you spend all that money on a player who then doesn't perform, you look like idiots. And you're going to have other unhappy players in that dressing room that are going to say, I want the same money as this guy. He's doing fuck all. Is he worth more to this club than I am? Is that why you're paying him more? And you get problems, don't you? Problems stem from that. So I'm not massively I know people say pay him the wages, etc. I think that you've got to be you've got to be intelligent with the way you do it. You've got to be smart. Now, in terms of Jadon Sancho, I just had one. Where the hell has it gone? Ah, yes. Chelsea have the ability to send Sancho back to Man United based on performance-based criteria. The total fee would be a minimum of £6 million. So I thought it was 5, so I apologize. It was 6. Up to south of 10 million. This is based on wage coverage and a flat fee. Chelsea and Sancho are happy with each other. Now, that should not be true. It should be Sancho is happy with Chelsea. Chelsea are not happy with Sancho whatsoever because he is playing like a bum. Okay? And we need to see more within the last games of the season to prove. Let's just say, hypothetically, Sancho got 0 GA from now until the end of the season. If we were then to sign him for 25 million, I would feel like we've been robbed. Even though 25 million sounds like an absolute bargain based on when we brought him in the first place. I was all for that deal, by the way. 25 mil, all for it, especially with him taking the pay cut with the low wages. Absolutely happy with that. But he has been dross. And I think a big part of that is hunger and desire, not skill. He's clearly good enough, but he lacks something up here. I would rather have a player who hasn't got the skill or the ability that Sancho has, but he's willing to make that run. He's willing to go and drive at that player. He's willing to track back, help out his teammates, all those things that Sancho has slipped up on, really, because defensively he's been a bit poor. He's not pressing as much, and he's playing too safe. And when he does go for it, he gives the ball away. So his confidence is stripped. But if you don't have any good qualities going for you right now, you have no reason to justify the fact that we pay the money. And how is it in Chelsea's benefit to pay 25 million when we've got a player who's not offering enough to this team anyway, and we could get rid of him for, let's just say, 7 million? That's money saved. Those wages that you were paying Sancho are now free for another player to come in. That's money you can put towards a striker. Let's just say you save 15 mil. All right, you had a bid rejected for 50 million for Goalkeeper, offer 65 because you didn't bring Sancho and you saved that money, and that money is now available to be pushed into the market of whatever players. So I do think that there's a real argument with Jadon Sancho to go. I think there's a genuine argument for him. He's 24 years old. His current market value is 30 million. Okay, not much different than it was last season when he was at Dortmund. Anyway, at his peak, Jadon Sancho was worth 130 million. Again, I'm not sure if that's pounds or euros. Can't even read. Oh, actually, sorry, that's euros, I think. That's it. Let's have a look. That's euros. It's euros. Okay. So at his peak, Jadon Sancho was worth 130 million euros. He's currently worth 30 in terms of market value. We're not even talking about pounds here. So 25 million is basically just paying market value for the player. So it's not actually money saved. I mean, it's money saved if you look at what United paid for him, but they're getting rid of him for what he's worth. You want to save money, you go for 15 million to bring him in. All right, United, you want to get rid of the guy so much, we'll take 10 million off the table. But unfortunately, we have an obligation that doesn't allow us to do that, which is unfortunate. I think part of the reason, again, is because United are contributing to some of his wage back in. Just like we are with Sterling. So it's not just that they're stupid. I mean, we're doing something similar. But even with the fact that we're paying 200 grand a week of Sterling's wages, the fact that we're able to get 100 grand off is money saved. And that's what United will feel. So they don't want to have him back on the books for whatever it is, $250,000 a week. Sanchez on stupid money as well. Goalkeeper is on 40k at the moment, so I doubt he'd want 200, 250. Look, he's one of the hottest strikers in Europe. He is eligible to demand that. We're talking about market value, what a player is worth. What do you pay one of the best strikers in world football at the moment? I think 200 grand is quite fair. You look at what Haaland's on; he's on 500,000. No, I'm not saying Goalkeeper is like Haaland, but I mean his form is up there with the best in recent years. Isak rumors are crap. Newcastle could ask for 100 or 110 million. No point in going for him. I don't think that will ever happen, to be honest. I do think if Isak goes, it'll probably be potentially PSG could be an option for him. I've heard that's a rumor. They could pay the money. No way that Chelsea want to come to Chelsea because of the wages. Josh says he'll drive Sancho to Manchester himself. Fair play to you, mate. Esteval Willian is coming in. I think that's why Chelsea board are desperate to get Jadon Sancho away. Well, then pay the money. And I think Chelsea fans wouldn't have a problem with it. Because even though you paid 6 to 10 million, you have saved another 15. We appreciate that. instead of actually putting that towards a transfer, also you could free season tickets maybe for a year. Could do that. I mean, my season ticket went up by about 8%. I know that corporate hospitality season tickets are going up by 30% next year at the Bridge. Maybe freeze them for a year. Use the 15 mil for that. I will drove home to Manchester United. I would even pay the 25 million. We could keep Chukwuemeka at Chelsea. He's only played 3 games for Dortmund. Not a good season for him. That's such a shame, isn't it? Such a shame. Chukwuemeka's a great player. I don't know why they're not playing him. Why is he not playing at Dortmund? Estevao is the most overhyped player Clownlock has bought and will flop the way our club is being run from top to bottom. We'll have to see, mate. I mean, you can't deny he's a top young player. But again, you want players that will come in and hit the ground running straight away. So, again, the demise of Jadon Sancho is sad. You know, the guy this season, he has been disappointing. You can't deny it's been disappointing. Now, league form is the basis for any player to be looked at. You know, people say, well, look at other competitions. And we can. Of course we can. In 23 Premier League appearances, Jadon Sancho has scored 2 goals and registered 4 assists. He's got 1 yellow card. He's been involved in 59% of the games in terms of starting, and he's played 59% of the minutes available. He's been involved in terms of 13% of goals that Chelsea have scored in the Premier League. 13%. Okay. In the FA Cup, Conference League, there you go. And the 2 assists that he had were against Heidenheim, if I'm not wrong. That was in the same game. So, listen, Sancho is not a bad player. He would be a good squad player for Chelsea, potentially. We have no logical reason to, I'm not going to say ask for him to stay, because you could still keep him and you could still justify it in a way if it's financially sound, because you get what you pay for. But there's no reason to really encourage him to stay. He doesn't bring much that you don't get from our other wingers in terms of GA. He brings less than most of our wingers in terms of effort. He doesn't try as hard as Neto. He doesn't work as hard as Madueke. Probably similar to Mudryk, if I'm honest, in terms of work rate. And, we've got other players that are coming in as well. So why not lean on those players that, could still have, a good period. You've got a player, he's been potential for 5 years. And he's not living up to his potential. So that tells me that he's probably not going to do it next season either. There's no real incentive from my part to encourage Jadon Sancho to stay. On a positive note, from what I have seen, Robert Sanchez would like to leave Chelsea Football Club if he is not part of our plans next season. And I say, cheers to that. Get the vodka out. That's my shot right there. That is bang on the money. Robert Sanchez leaving Chelsea would make my life so much easier, because then we wouldn't have to debate whether this clown is going to play another game and whether our deluded manager who's in love with Robert Sanchez would like to continue playing him. The beautiful thing is, actually, sorry, I misquoted myself. Deluded coach, because Maresca isn't a manager. He doesn't manage this team. He just coaches it. And he's coaching the creativity out of us. He's coaching the fun out of football. And he's bringing us possession for nothing. It's like speaking to a girl all night, hoping you're going to get her in bed. And then she says, I'm going to go back to my house now. And doesn't invite you. She invites someone else who she barely spoke to. You put all that work in and you got fuck all out of it. That is Maresca ball. No balls. There you go. But no, I do think it's a good thing if Sanchez goes. I think it's good for his career. It's good for his mental health. Probably, I can imagine that. I'm certainly a culprit for it. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm abusing him professionally, not personally. In terms of the professional side of things, I mean, Sanchez has had so much abuse. When you get personal with these things, it's crossing a line, and I don't believe that you should ever get personal with players. Commenting on their Instagrams and stuff like that. It's not for me, really, if I'm honest. I don't need to tell this stuff to Sanchez personally. He knows he's not been good enough. He's not stupid, but he's still trying his best. He's still getting picked. So it's as much Maresca's fault as it is Sanchez that we still have that issue. But I hope for his career that he can go and have a fresh start. He needs it, and we need it. We need to get rid of this guy. We won't get anything near the 25 million that we paid for him. I'd be surprised if we even get double digits, to be honest with you. I think the best offer we get is an offer of 9 million. Because anyone who goes for double digits is probably, I mean, I don't know why you'd bid 10, to be honest with you. So 9 million, I'd accept that for Robert Sanchez. And I think that's probably a bid that we could get. I'm not sure who pays that, but there you go. Maybe another loan spell. That might be a way to get him away. He just needs minutes, man. But who's going to trust a goalkeeper who can't be trusted? I think the only other way to look at it from that perspective is don't allow Sanchez to play in a system which requires you to pass out from the back. Like, imagine Sanchez was in a system where he just had to hoof the ball up. He wasn't required to go short. Obviously, you do it every now and again, but generally speaking, you pass up the pitch, and the ball comes to you, kick it up. They're basically classic retro goalkeeper. That would probably work well for him. I'm not saying his distribution will be any good in that regard either, but you'd get the mistakes out of him instead of thinking, oh, do I go short? Do I go long? Or I have to go short. Just go long, and that's it. If we lose the ball, you've done what the manager's asked. Fans aren't going to complain too much unless it's an absolute howler. But you just need to lob the ball up the top of the pitch and try and get it on the striker's head, essentially. None of these stupid, nifty passes to the fullbacks or even chip balls into the central midfielders. Like, hoof it up there, and that's probably enough. Sanchez, I don't think I'd really want him if I was a relegation team. I want a goalkeeper that I can count on, that won't make silly mistakes. Because I'll get mistakes from my defenders and my midfielders anyway, because I'm a relegation team. So I don't want to have that problem with my goalkeeper. I just want a goalkeeper I can count on. And I almost think it's more important in that sense for them just to not make mistakes for them to do than for them to do anything amazing. Like, you could be an okay goalkeeper and without really doing much. I think Kepa's a good example of that. Like, Kepa's saves aren't brilliant. He doesn't make unreal saves every game. He doesn't do it that much. But he doesn't make stupid mistakes all the time. It's quite boring, isn't it? But it's stable enough. But he doesn't offer enough stability for Chelsea either. Kepa's totally out of the question. Petrovic is 100% the man for this team. And I hope he stays at Chelsea for a long time. I think he's more than good enough to be one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. I think he's already proven that he's the best goalkeeper at Chelsea. He's better than Kepa. He's better than Sanchez. He's better than Jorgensen. He's better than Bettinelli. At this moment in time, he's better than Mike Penders. Am I missing anyone? I think that's it. All right. So, in my opinion, you get rid of Sanchez. You loan Jorgensen to Strasbourg. That would be valuable game time for him in another European system. I know that Rosnier as well, who's the manager, Liam Rosnier, at Strasbourg, he's playing risky football. He's asking the goalkeepers to push right up to the halfway line at times when his team have the ball. So it's great. I mean, it suits us. This is what we're trying to do in terms of building a team that now to play out from the back. That transition is quite good. But there you go. We'll have to see what happens. Thomas, he has a real friend who's Belgium and supports Genk. Mike Pennis is the real deal. Fair play. Well, I'm glad we've got him. We are signing Liam Delap, Nicola Riley in the summer. Personally, I'd take a punt at John David on a free. Well, that's fair. Jonathan David's a good one. And nobody can criticize that as bad business because we're not paying anything. So that's not terrible. Not a bad idea. We'll see what happens. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate all of you watching the stream. We've got 66 of you in there that I can see at the moment. Smash the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate you all watching. Any support is helpful. It shows that you're enjoying what we're doing, and it encourages us to continue making content. Encourages me. Big up to everyone. We will be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I will be doing a watch along for the England game as well. So if you want to jump on the watch along with me, you can. And I look forward to seeing you then.